Hello, this is Terry Eagle 177, and I'm going to be making you a tier list to round off the year. This is my first real chasing video, so here's hoping it goes alright. Um, but yeah, the way that this is going to work, I am going to go through all of the items, and I'm going to rank them from S tier all the way down to useless. Spoiler, there's only going to be one item, one thing in useless. Um, and yeah, they will be ordered from left to right, with left being the best and the right being the worst in that tier. And we may change things as we go along because I am kind of just doing this with no script, nothing like that. To start us off, that one item that's useless, lockpick. It has zero use in a chase. It has nothing to slow down the killer. All it can do is unlock a door that somebody on the other side is probably just going to lock anyways. Um, very, very bad item. Don't, if that's your only item, don't even bother trying to use it. It's an active detriment. It can be an active detriment at some points. Moving on, the camera, very strong B tier item. It in a cone, in a pretty wide cone, in a pretty wide and pretty long cone in front of you. If the killer is inside of it when you flash them with the camera, they will be flashbanged and they will be slowed for 2 or 3 seconds. Normally, that's kind of okay, cool, like maybe a low B tier item, but this is going to the absolute top of B tier because of the fact that it is the only notable like slowdown to the killer that doesn't give them any kind of speed bonus. I might bump it up. We'll just have to wait and see. Bandages, easily A tier. Having the utility of healing yourself or a teammate, please do not forget that you can use this to heal a teammate. If you see somebody limping and healing them would put them over the limping threshold, just give them a bandage. So many people are way too selfish with the bandage, and it's very, very frustrating. You can give it to somebody who has bottle or any other stun to give them a little bit of time to get away and give them a little bit of buffer so that they can extend the chase. If somebody is like at super low health and they're limping, you can give it to them to get them some kind of movement speed. The only downside of this item is the fact that it has a 75-second cooldown. Realistically, you're only going to be able to use this four times during a match. But that is still 80 extra health that you or somebody else is going to have. Very good item. The other rare green item, Adrenaline. S tier. Not the best item in the game, but definitely a very strong item. It is the best item, the best easily obtainable item in the game for extending a chase. It gives you a burst of speed that puts you faster than the killer if you are at or above 50% health. If you're at a lower threshold, then you're still faster than the killer, but not by much. However, the thing that makes Adrenaline so strong is just how long it lasts. I want to say it lasts for about 10 seconds, where you're just outright faster than the killer. You shove the killer, you can safely pop Adrenaline, and then you're gone. They're going to have to waste so much time chasing after you to try and keep back up. In Last Man Standing, if you have an Adrenaline in your inventory, chances are you just win. It is a very good item. Moving down, the two epic or purple ranked items. The Mine, C tier. Very, very disappointing. It is a griefer's dream to be able to put a mine down behind a door for somebody to open it and to get exploded, for a teammate to get exploded or killed. I have seen more survivors take damage from a mine than I have seen the killers take damage from a mine. I have seen in my approaching almost got 100 wins as killer, and in all of them, exactly once have I seen somebody actually effectively use mines, and they use it as a really scary combo tool. The mine was put down in a kind of obvious spot, and so I obviously avoided it. Then they shoved me into it. That was very smart. However, because of how easy it is for a survivor to step on it, and how if it's difficult for the killer to see, it's difficult for other survivors to see, and the fact that other survivors don't get a hitbox for it, it's just a very underwhelming item in the grand scheme of things. You will be screwed over more than you will be helped by this unless you are actively like in a voice call with somebody else, in which case maybe you would go up to be somewhere pretty close to camera. In an average public lobby though, C tier, you'll rarely get use out of it. Better than nothing, but still not great to have. Molotov, the other epic item, a step below mine, whereas mine is actively detrimental but has the possibility of doing something meaningful against the killer. The Molotov is kind of the opposite. You never are going to end up hurting a teammate with this, however, you're never going to end up really helping a teammate with this either. It doesn't stun or slow the killer down. The only thing it does on a direct hit, which is pretty difficult to get, is the killer stops sprinting, and they can just press shift again to start sprinting again. Not really a good item. It might technically be optimal if you're trying to kill the killer, but I have never once ever seen anybody kill the killer ever. So I don't think that I just don't think it's ever going to happen. Water balloon. I want to say it's a step above camera, but it's not quite an A tier item. It has a longer range than camera, if you can throw it at a fairly long ways away to help a teammate from pretty far out, to slow them down and temporarily blind them so that they can duck behind a wall, maybe force the killer to guess whether they went left or right. However, where it shines in supporting your teammates, it struggles when protecting yourself. If you have water balloon in Last Man Standing, you basically have to use both shove and the water balloon, unless the killer does something really dumb or they lose sight of you somehow. You struggle to get use out of it at close range because of how long the startup is. The killer can easily just M1 you out of the startup animations if they see you trying to throw it when you're close to them. A little bit better than camera, but the camera is better for defending yourself in a close range situation than the water balloon is. The bottle, A tier. Putting it just above the medkit, because the bottle, it's just a simple close range stun. It is the longest stun in the game at around 5 seconds, which in a game where looping is so strong is insane. It's a very, very strong stun. I use the bottle almost exclusively, and it is good to help a teammate out of a sketchy situation. It is good to defend yourself and greatly extend the chase. If you smack them over the head with a bottle and then wait till the stun is almost over and then shove them, you can really buy a teammate a lot of time to get away, heal up, use a bandage, use adrenaline, whatever. If you happen to have adrenaline, then bottle's even better because you can smack them over the head and use adrenaline, which really just gives more points to adrenaline. It's not quite the best item in the game, but it's close. The adrenaline, I mean. As for the bottle, very solid, very consistent. Occasionally, you will get hit out of the startup frames of it, which is frustrating, but you can also get away with basically missing your swing. The killer walks into the lingering hitbox. Very, very strong item. Now for the best item in the game. Swapper, especially on Sebastian's map. If you are in the house and you lock both doors, and you stand on the little alcove, you can just teleport the killer to... You can teleport the killer into a locked house and force them to guess where you are, force them to burn an ability to catch back up with you. You can use it to disorient the killer. You can use it to get a teammate out of a really bad situation if you're willing to put yourself in danger. It is by far, it is not by far, but still a very, very good item. It has amazing synergy with most of the stunning items. Like, you can teleport somebody who has camera ready, you swap and then they flash, or water balloon. If somebody's low on health and they don't have the opportunity to use a bandage, you can swap with them so that they can use their bandage and maybe drop another one to heal themselves even more. You can swap with somebody who has a bottle, and then the person with the bottle swaps in and smacks the killer over the head. Incredible synergy with this item. And for the newest item that got added, the dash, A tier. Bottom of A tier, honestly. It has basically zero team support. It is a survivalist item only. You can use it to get out of a sticky situation. You can use it to extend the chase. You can use it to go over short walls, if like the loop with the hay bale map. You can use that to dash over the wall and build a lot of distance. But it can't help your teammates at all, which everything above it is significantly better at. However, it is way better at defending yourself than both of the items, than the two items in B tier. So it sits firmly at the bottom of A tier. If you go up against it as killer, generally a very annoying item to deal with, since you can use it on reaction to a projectile. You can use it on reaction to, like, oh, the killer is using, like against Loki, if Loki dashes closer, you can shove him back and then dash away. It's a very good tool to combo with push, because you build even more distance. I'm happy with where it goes. If you're not, comments are wide open. Now, that's enough for the items. The killers. Let's start with the order they were all released in. I actually don't know whether Sketch or Loki came first, so I'm just going to go with the order from cheapest to most expensive. Gary, the free killer. C tier. Easily the worst killer in the game. In a game with such a small killer pool, it makes sense for one of them to be particularly bad. But Gary just has no redeeming qualities. He has the lowest stats of everybody except health, which Loki has the lowest health, but low health is never going to matter. I've never dropped below half health ever, and I think the only way you kill the killer is with a full team stack of 6. And even then, it's still going to be difficult to actually kill the guy. The only thing saving Gary from useless tier is the fact that his first ability is admittedly really solid. It has a deceptively long range. The hitbox goes further than the animation suggests it does. And Gary recovers quickly enough to where he can combo after it, which is a really strong trait to have. It's also one of 2 projectile abilities that can hit multiple people. A strong first ability held back by a near dead weight second ability that provides no looping utility other than the tiniest of loops, and maybe 5 or 10 chip damage depending on how many people are in the lobby with you. The genuinely the only thing that Gary has over the other three killers is that he is the fastest killer in the game at killing people who are at killing an AFK player. That's it. He has nothing else over any of the other killers. If you unironically main Gary, I why first of all, but second, not bad. That's pretty good. You're really impressive if you can win with Gary, especially against a group of good survivors. Jumping up 2 spots on the tier list, Sketch. Tied with Gary for the slowest killers in the game, but doesn't really matter in a game like this. Sketch is the other killer that can hit multiple people with ability 1. Pencil Slam, he slams the pencil down into the ground, and it pops up wherever the cursor is, and the cursor can be pretty far away, can be aimed pretty far away, and it'll still hit them. It is the longest range ability 1 in the game. However, to make up for that, Sketch cannot combo after landing it if he's close. It can hit people through doors, but it's just 20 damage through a door. Still nice to have, though. The main use case for Pencil, however, is threshold crossing. If you catch a survivor and you M1 them a little bit, but they still have max speed because they're over 60% health, hit them with Pencil and they'll start limping. It'll slow them down and you can chase them down much more easily. Speaking of chasing them down, let's talk about a second ability, Raging Sprint. One of the strongest second abilities in the game, only held back by the fact that it has a 45-second cooldown. When he activates it, he gains a massive, massive speed boost that he can attack during. He is significantly faster than any survivor in the game. It is one of 2 true counters to Adrenaline, and it is just in general a very, very strong ability to have. It is incredibly versatile as well. I main Sketch, always have, always will, and Raging Sprint, you can use it when you're close to a survivor to start a chase and kill them very quickly, because you can keep up with them through their damage speed boost. And you can use it, like, you M1, Pencil, and then you can use it to chase them right back down to a much more beneficial position. Because of how strong it is, survivors are going to feel pressured to burn one of their cooldowns to try and stop you for it. Either a bottle or a push or something so that you burn the time. However, if you can avoid that, you have an insanely high pressure killing tool that can chase everybody down. It's even okay against Swapper. Sketch's biggest weakness, however, if he has one, is the entirety of Sebastian's map. Because of how absolutely gigantic that map is, being tied with Gary in terms of speed seriously, seriously hurts. If somebody's on the other side of the map when final time starts, he's going to spend about half of that final time just chasing that person down, in which case there's really not a whole lot he can do. The way that you win with Sketch on that map, you have to leave somebody at low health and pray that they don't have a bandage or that nobody else has a bandage. Otherwise, good luck. Other than that one map, though, Sketch is a strong killer, but not quite as strong as Loki, who, in my opinion, is the best in the game even after Sebastian's release. It is a very close best in the game. I wouldn't be upset if anybody said that Sebastian is the best in the game, because there are genuinely valid arguments for both. But I think that Loki, just even after his slight nerf with Sebastian's release, I think still takes the cake as the best in the game. His knife throw is everything you'd want in a projectile. It comes out fast. It's easy to land. You can combo. You can use it as a combo starter or combo ender. You can use it to put survivors below thresholds very easily. And it has the shortest cooldown of any killer ability in the entire game. 16 seconds, which is ridiculously fast. The only thing that this can't do, the only way that you are safe from this ability is if you are running in and out of a very crowded area, like any kind of like ruined or burnt down log cabin, running around the hay bales, running around the barrels on Sebastian's map. That is the only way you avoid getting hit by this knife. It is a very, very strong ability. And speaking of strong abilities, his second ability is a brief dash that he can attach a hitbox to. If he M1s during the dash, he now has the longest range M1 in the game. Putting Sketch's 4.5 stud M1, which I believe is the longest in the range, I need to check up on that, to shame, because he can dash at you and basically immediately grab you. And that also has a frighteningly short cooldown for how strong it is. If you're somewhat close to a survivor and they try to shut the door on you and, oh, I'm not going to make it through that door in time, you can dash through the door while it's closing, and now suddenly the survivor is cornered and they have the best killer in the game at hunting down one person point blank to them. Loki is easily the best killer in the game for focusing down one specific problem survivor. Sebastian, the newest killer. Probably the tied very close second to Loki right now. I could easily be swayed to putting Sebastian as the best killer in the game. But I think Loki just still has too many strengths and is still too good at dealing with Chase to be able to not be the best killer in the game right now. Well, let's get into why Sebastian is such a strong killer. Lonely pirate, eternally searching for his friend that he lost a long time ago, takes his rage out on these survivors for some reason. His first ability is effectively a side grade to the best projectile in the game, Loki's knife. That's already a really good thing. However, what it gives up for when it comes to both range and cooldown, because it does have a little bit less range and much longer cooldown, I believe 26-second cooldown versus 16, it makes up for in utility. It can immediately break down any lockable door that you throw it at. A survivor runs to a door, they try to lock it behind them, you throw the projectile, you immediately break it down, and you can catch a survivor point blank. At close range, if it hits a survivor at close range, it's similar to Loki's knife. It's a very quick recovery projectile that you can combo out of, that you can combo into and out of. However, if you hit it at the longer ranges, it knocks a survivor down. And unlike the knockdown that you get when you M1, randomly sometimes, I still don't know why that happens. If anybody knows, please let me know. It will knock a survivor down and give them 0 invulnerability. If you knock them down into a corner, you can chase them down. That's a free follow-up. And Sebastian is very good at getting himself into a position where he can actually follow up. His second ability is very similar to Sketch's Raging Sprint. However, it has trade-offs to Raging Sprint. In exchange for not quite being as fast as Raging Sprint, you obscure the vision of all survivors and reveal their footsteps, and I believe reveal all survivors anyways. At least reveal all survivors to each other. You can use this to hunt down any survivor who might be trying to, you think, oh, I lost a survivor. I'm going to use this to chase them down. And you can use it in a similar manner to sketches raging sprint as well. You can use it after any number of things. You can use it to start a chase. You can use it to finish a chase off. You can use it mid chase. You can use it after you get a knockdown after you land your projectile. Maybe you get a knockdown with it too. Very, very strong ability. Very versatile. And just a very, very good ability to have that is very scary to go up against as a survivor. Because yes, you still get the terror radius, and yes, you still see the killers. It's just a very good ability. There's not much else to say other than that. That is my first video on chasing just about wrapped up, and what I believe is the final tier list that chasing is going to see in 2025. I look forward to making more chasing content for 2026. Yeah, that's me signing off. If you have any disagreements about where something should go, or if you're just a Gary main who really, really thinks that Gary is on par with Sketch, he's not, comment down below your thoughts. Any feedback is appreciated. So you all have a very happy New Year's. Take care.